Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my European City Skylines series. Today we're in part 3 and we're building something that is kind of a real life thing too in Vienna. And this is the gasometer. What is the gasometer? It is basically these 4 towers right next to each other that were used for gas storage. They were originally built in the 1894 and they were in use as a gas storage room for until 1984. So basically they were about 100 years next to the gas tower, and this is, I think, quite impressive. And from there on and from now on, they are kind of a space for the people to live in and to go shopping. So we have in Austria one shopping center in them, and the other ones are residential, kind of for residential use. What I mean with this is I think one of them is a cinema and one of them is a shopping center, and the other ones are purely residential areas. So you could basically live in one of them, but it's pretty cool, I think. So this was something that I kind of wanted to have in my town, and the real life ones of them were built from the Gaswerk Simmering. And when you don't know, Simmering is a district of Vienna. And this district is basically way more outer the kind of city core that we have within our city. But for this one, I have a simple reason. I don't want to rebuild Vienna one by one. And it is already in the outer ring, and I imagined it would be way realistic there, because the ones that we're building here, I am imagining not to be that old. Well, actually, I imagine them to be more older than the real life ones. Because I think there were actually ones before the ones in real life, but they got destroyed. So I was just like, okay, our ones didn't got destroyed, so they have it more in the city core. And yes, I think by now you should have already seen the Google Earth studio recordings of what I've based it on. And you can also see that there's a lot of residential space around it and some abandoned industry lots. And this is also what I wanted to do there. So we have some very new looking apartment blocks that are very close to it. So they are basically right next to it, what is quite close to it, but it is not realistic in my opinion. And we have some industrial space around it. And for this one, I thought about kind of an history. And the history behind it is, at least for me, that you would kind of have the train tracks that are going in the middle of the 4 towers. And they would be stopping there to kind of get off the load and get the gas into the storage there. And now it's just kind of semi-abandoned, it's just a parking lot there. So we have still quite a lot of the train tracks is still there, but it is kind of overgrown and stuff like this. So you can definitely see it's not in use, but we'll get to this in some minutes. There I was just like trying around a lot, and I left it in there because then you can there see also my thought process and building something. But this whole thing then there got later on destroyed because I was looking at the original pictures and was like, no, this is not realistic. We have to scrap this. And this is also kind of what I want to do there. I want to take a lot of inspiration from Vienna, but I don't want to copy it one by one by the places where it is. Also, I have to say sorry guys for the voice quality right now. I think something kind of changed on my mic. And I haven't changed anything by myself, but it is suddenly changed, so I can't do much about it, so we all have to live with it. I'm sorry. There, I wanted to make the circles around it like it is in real life, and for this one there I've came up with the idea of just placing the dirt pathways and then just connecting them up. This is quite an easy thing to do, and it is just basically very good to use in my opinion when you want to make something like this and it should be all the same. I'm just using dirt pathways, and then I'm just using the nodes controller mod just kind of to get in all the things that we kind of need for this. What I mean with the need is that to get it look realistic and to get the look right. So with the network tailing, I did kind of a small hill there on that it is based off because it is like this in real life, so I thought about this definitely will have a reason. And until this date, I'm not sure what it is, but it definitely has one. So if you know, please write it down in the comments down below. And yes, and when we're already talking about the comments, we'll be coming to them in some minutes. I want to do it in the second part of this episode. So after the first cinematics, we will be talking about the comments of the last episode. But for now, I just want to explain some stuff there. And yes, there you can just kind of see me already making the circle, and this will be the roads that will be going through here. And in the middle they are meeting at a very weird angle, but it is kind of realistic, and so I thought about, okay, I want to keep this angle, but I want to move them more outwards, because there I already knew what I want to do with kind of the train tracks in the middle there and the industrial area around it, so there was just like plopping them in here. And then there I was only taking one part because they don't have the, how's it called? They don't have the grass elevated to it, so I was then there doing it like this. And then I was thinking kind of like a genius, I wanted to use the network for the terraforming, but the terraform network said, no, we don't want you, it doesn't work there, so I had to improvise, and then I got to the idea, wait, I got the node controller installed, and there I can make a smooth curve. And this isn't perfect, you can definitely see it is a different type of grass to the other areas in the city, but it is kind of realistic, I would say. That is also another kind of grass, and it works out for me, basically. And yes, so here I'm just trying to terraform it something kind of like this, but then I was just like, no, this won't be possible for me, it isn't looking good, so I have to think about something other and get a better idea in and get a better idea built there. So I was kind of rethinking the whole kind of process for these hills, and in the end it turned out very well, I have to say. So this is something that I'm very happy about that we got in our city. And yes, so with this one we also have a lot of the basic needs of the city. There you can, by the way, see what I was doing there. And with the basic needs of water and electricity with these towers. And we will be building some bigger facilities like waste treatment and stuff like this soon. But until we come there, we will have to make at least some kind of city. So we will be having soon the first cars driving around. I'm right now planning how to do the highways and where to connect them up. And also I've got a great source for the U-Bahn network for the metro, where it has to go. So this is something that I'm very glad about. There I've made it for the first one, and then I've just copy-pasted it because it works very well for me, so I'm very happy with how this turned out actually. And there I was looking what kind of road I want to use, because it is kind of a parking lot road, so it isn't that much of a big road. But then I found the one that I will be using in like some seconds. At first I thought this one from Ronnie, but this looks too rural to me, so too much out of a place in a city, or it would be just kind of a surfing road there, so I was not taking it. And yes, here I'm just kind of adding in the roads, and I'm very happy about them. And what I mean very happy about them, it is looking very kind of smooth, and it's looking very, not generic, it's looking very well connected to each other, and going from one smooth turn into another one, but then there is this abrupt change in it, a straight line. This is perfectly what I wanted to do there, and it was just turning out great. And there in the middle there will be the train tracks, so there will be very much crammed in there, but it works out in the end. And yes, so this is what was basically the main hardest thing for me to do in this series, to get this realistic. Not in series, in this episode, I'm sorry. And afterwards I was just kind of detailing it, and there I was just kind of looking on some pictures of Google Earth and Google Earth Studio, just how to get it right, because this is not too common to be built, and so I wanted it to have it at least some kind of realistic. And yes, so this was quite a lot of work for me, but it worked out in the end. Also, something completely different that I wanted to say is thank you to all of you guys. We've once again got 7 new subs from the last video, and this is just such a high number for me. Thank you guys, it means a lot to me. We are nearly at 520 already, so thank you. It is a very good feeling to see you guys enjoy what I'm doing there. And yeah, I'm very happy about this, so thank you guys. Here, I'm just kind of making everything smooth, that it looks good, and wasn't that hard. It was kind of hard sometimes, but all in all it was working over quite well. And yes, this would be the first part of the voice recording. I would right now leave you with the building and the first cinematics, and we will see each other back after the cinematics. Okay, so I'm back after the first cinematics. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm pretty happy about it, I would say. And we are right now starting off by just making everything overgrown there, and I just kind of love doing this kind of work. As you may already know, I love detailing nature, so it is basically one of my favorite things to do in City Skylines, just to detail some nature. And for this one I thought about the best thing to do this in would be making a small warehouse here and make it abandoned. So it is next to the train line here, with the basic thoughts of saying, okay, it was basically the first kind of area where they checked if the gas was okay in the tanks, and then they kind of let the train go through. And now it is just kind of abandoned there. And for this one I've just used the pluggable asphalt that is finally working in this series. And I'm placing it there and then just making it looking destroyed and overgrown. This is just kind of so much fun to make for me, so I was very happy to do it there. I've just deleted once again some of the parking lots because it wouldn't be that realistic, and now I'm just adding in there the fence. Fencing is pretty much important in areas like this so that no one gets hurt and you don't have to pay for the damage that is done to the people that are doing their stuff and getting hurt at. So this is basically just to keep people off your lot. You would have it also on an abandoned site. And yes, there I've just used PO to kind of make them a bit smaller, and yes. Here I'm now starting off with placing the first weeds, and There I had the first decision what kind of weeds I would use, and I'm using quite a mix, quite some big ones and some smaller ones. And these scrubs are just so great for detailing, I just love them. And with not that too many bushes, you can detail this area quite well already, and it isn't taking too many FPS. This was very important to me, and I'm very happy about this small area here. So this was basically the pioneer area of the nature detailing for the series. And it was quite a good progress, I would say. They've just added in some more decals just to make it look more worn down and destroyed. Just made some patches of concrete there and some destroyed stuff and some tire skid marks, just to make it look like it is really long abandoned. There you have this great graffiti set, added in some of them. And they aren't that easy to place, but they're definitely worth it in my opinion. So I like the look of them quite a lot. I would definitely keep using them. And they just make so much more of an atmosphere for these areas like this, because this would be just kind of an invitation for everyone that does graffiti to do it there, because there's just such a big blank wall there. They're just using the brush once again that I think they did off camera. Nothing special, it is just kind of a tree brush there, with some trees for detailing and low detailing, just kind of to get it in looking a bit detailed. And still not eating too many FPS, because this is all the time the problem of all the YouTubers that are doing stuff with City Skylines, to get the FPS, not to kind of tank there and tank on one specific spot. Here I'm just adding in these trains, and they were looking way too clean for me, so I've PO'd them and made them darker. So they're looking kinda semi-abandoned there, and worked out quite well. Here I'm just using these bushes, and they're just great. I think these are the new favorite assets in this series for me, because they're just so good looking and they're just giving so many details with one of these single bushes. So yeah, I definitely want to keep them in this series and in this kind of city. They've just added in a lot of smaller trees, so also in the middle I've kept an eye on not making too big ones. I've made these smaller ones, so they would be kind of new, so you can see that there was some business going on a while ago, but now it isn't anything going on there. And now just adding industrial props all over again, and this looks so great, I think. Also with the small pipeline going here through the area. I'm very happy about how it turned out. And this is just kind of sneaking through there, and I've wanted to PO it. Sadly it's not possible, so that's kind of a bummer, but it works also without it. It's just a bit brighter, but this should also be okay, I would say. And yes, so this is basically what I did there. Not too much of detailing, but I think it looks quite good for the detailing reason and purpose. There I was just turning off the color of the forest is kind of switching in between that is making a different color on the ground when it is a forest, because this was just annoying for that, and I've turned it off there. Because when I want to switch the color of the ground, I do it by myself, by hand, with decals, but there I didn't want it to do, because I wanted to keep the original number. And this was basically the first abandoned detailing of the series. Very happy about it. You guys might know I love doing abandoned stuff. And we would definitely be keeping building abandoned stuff there, because it is just very easy for me, and I just kind of love it, because it also sometimes is quite a big challenge. Mostly it is very easy to me, but when it is a big challenge to me, I'm even happy to do it. And yes, so we're coming very close to the end of this episode, and I just wanted to say, guys, thank you for watching this video. I will leave you in some seconds. Please watch the video until the end, and please leave me a review in the comments. Leave me a rating there. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, give it a dislike if you didn't like it. If you didn't like it, please write me down in the comments down below what I can do better to kind of get the quality up and just kind of to improve it so that you guys can enjoy it more. With this said, thank you for watching, hopefully see another video, and bye, have a great time.